Hello, everyone, and welcome to another edition of Football Palestine Extra, where we break down everything that's happened in the world of Palestinian football this week. Listen, I want to start off with just a point of order. If you want to watch this episode in its entirety, consider upgrading to a premium subscription at only $8 a month or $80 a year. You get access to episodes like this in their entirety, and then the back catalog of all the interviews we've done with national team players. Those are exclusive. You can't find them anywhere else. We interviewed Ade Dabakh last week and a whole host of national team players. Ata Jaber, Mohamed Bassem, Mahmoud Eid, Nazmi Badawi. You name them, we got them. And if you have a request for a certain player, we'll go out and get them and interview them. So consider upgrading your subscription to premium. It really helps me keep the lights on and do what I do. Let's get into the news. A couple things I want to discuss. Palestinians abroad, an announcement that was on and then off, and we don't know exactly what's happening, and might be a clue as to new players we will see later this month when Palestine plays against Jordan and Iraq in World Cup qualifying. But we're going to start with the location of those World Cup qualifiers. Really an incredible drama that is about the dumbest drama I have seen in my time covering the Palestine national team. So in order to kind of understand this saga, we have to take you back to the decision on where Palestine should host their games. And there's never been just one decision. It seems every time there's a home game, Palestine sort of thinks about, well, we should do this or should we do that? And so Jordan should have been a natural option. And Jordan is where Palestine played when they drew 1-1 against Korea. And people will remember the huge cheer that went up when Zed Qumbar scored to make it 1-0 for Palestine. I was surprised to find out that was a roar made by 2,405 people. That was the official attendance there. So not many people attend matches, but they're the right type of people. They make noise. And Palestine's sort of been looking for that atmosphere. They had a bit of that atmosphere in the first game that they hosted in Kuwait. That was against Australia. 14,000 people showed up. Again, far from a sellout in a 60,000-seater stadium. But a bit of an atmosphere. When they returned there to play Bangladesh, there was more than double that amount. I think close to 40,000 people there. But they were mostly Bangladeshi. And so there was no home field advantage. The decision was made, okay, we need to find a new place to host games. And they made the decision to go to Qatar, Asad Stadium, which hosted their match against Lebanon. It was an okay atmosphere. When they advanced to round 3, they played 3 home games at 3 different locations, starting with Malaysia, which was mostly due to the fact that they were playing Korea in match day 1, and they wanted to limit travel for the team. Great idea in theory, horrible in practice because the Palestine FA did not secure the best training facilities or the best stadium. And the horrible pitch at the stadium led to not 1, but 2 injuries. One to Rami Hamadeh, the other Tamer Salam, which really had a huge effect on how that game played out. I mean, if you think about 2 of the 3 goals that Jordan scored in that game, I think Rami stops both. And they both come at crucial times. So we'll see, what that means really when Palestine, in form, fully healthy, face Jordan, if that theory comes true. But playing against Jordan in Malaysia made sense, but the practice was kind of bad. They came back to Qatar. And I think they sort of realized something in Qatar because there was a small section of away fans cheering for Kuwait that were making more noise than the rest of the stadium. And the stadium wasn't a sellout. And the type of fans that were coming were, there were old ladies and their families, people that don't typically go to football matches. So the decision after the Korea game was, listen, we got a good result here. The support was good. We're going to play Jordan in Jordan. Let's just stay here and host Iraq here. And the drama really started from the Iraqi side, who a couple of days after started saying, no, we're not going to play here because there's this FIFA rule, which I'd never heard of and apparently doesn't exist, that says if a team picks a neutral ground as a home ground, it cannot be the home ground of another team in the group. Now, that flies in the face of the fact that they played Korea in Jordan. It flies in the face of the fact that over in Group A, Iran couldn't host a couple of matches, so they played out in the UAE, and UAE is also in Group A. But it's what they kept sort of saying. And what really the fear was from the Iraqi point of view is if we play Palestine in Jordan, then all the Jordanians will come out to support Palestine, and they'll create a super hostile atmosphere. And for those of you who don't follow Asian football so closely, these two teams aren't traditional rivals, but there's been a lot of beef between them ever since Jordan knocked out Iraq from the Asian Cup in absolutely incredible circumstances with a controversial red card from an Iranian ref. With like really trolling celebrations from the Jordanians. A lot of there's no love lost between the two sets of supporters now, and they go at it online all the time. Again, that's a theory, but I don't think it's reality because only 2,405 people showed up to Palestine's game against Korea. And you have to remember that Palestine and Jordan are rivals. Like that is the traditional football rivalry. We can get into all the details of it being like brotherly, and we can then there's a lot of Palestinians and Jordanians, and there's a lot of intermarriage. We can get into all of that, but that is a veneer. That's a veneer that both sides push because it has gotten ugly on the football front between Wahdat and Faisali. And you don't have to look very far. Look at when Wahdat and Faisali played in Palestine in 2023 in that friendly tournament, and the fallout from that. Look at what happened in the game between Wahdat and Faisal in 2010. There are a lot of tensions simmering below the surface, and the only reason they haven't bubbled up when the two national teams play is because the older brother, in this case Jordan, which is more established, hasn't lost to the younger brother. The younger brother of Palestine has gotten closer, and if we do see, Palestine finally beat Jordan for the first time in 49 years, I think you're going to see a lot of those tensions come to the surface, and you're certainly not going to see Jordanians come out en masse to support Palestine against Iraq. Now, I would love that to be the case because we could use all the help we could get, but I just don't think it's grounded in reality. It might become a self-fulfilling prophecy, though, so we'll see because people are still talking about this online incredibly. The story behind it, you can read on the website. At some point, the Palestine FA said, we're not going to push for Jordan. We want to push to play at home. An incredible decision given the fact that the league hasn't returned in the West Bank. And if you can't organize a league, I'm not sure how you're going to organize an international football match. But FIFA and the AFC signed off on it. I think FIFA politically wants to throw a bone to the Palestine Football Association, so they drop their campaign against getting the Israeli FA suspended. The one stipulation was that their opponents would have to agree, and the Iraqis didn't agree. And after that, there was no communication between the two sides. The Palestine Football Association alleges that they reached out to kind of organize, okay, where should we play? And the Iraqis never responded. For their part, the Iraqis put out a statement that revealed some details that the Palestinians left out, like Faisal Husseini Stadium doesn't have VAR. And should they play, should that game have gone ahead in Jerusalem, the Palestinians would have wanted to play in April outside of the FIFA window, which is incredible given the fact that all of Palestine's team plays outside, plays abroad. And, the way international football works is national teams can call up their players and the clubs can't do anything to stop it within the FIFA window. Outside the FIFA window, a club is within its rights to refuse and say no. So the fact that the Palestine Football Association even did that is incredibly reckless and incredibly stupid. And they're really incredibly lucky that the Iraqis didn't